So I was talking to another dad at a school function several years ago, and he was sharing with me about how he was very stressed at work and how things weren't going very well financially. And he started to share about how his marriage, he and his wife, were really not connecting. They were having a really hard time getting on the same page, and they've been fighting a lot. And I remember I looked at him, I said, well, do you pray? Have you prayed about it? And he looked at me sort of quizzically like, what are you talking about? I said, have you two ever just sat down and just prayed about this whole thing with your job and the finances? And he looked at me again like I had six heads. And I said, wait, do you two not ever have a chance to pray? And he looks at me, all of a sudden he gets these tears in his eyes. It was really awkward because we're at a game, right? Watching our kids play, and he gets these tears in his eyes. And he's like, Mark, he's like, I'm embarrassed to say I've never prayed with my spouse. I never prayed with her. And it was not shocking to me, because I think that's the case for a lot of us, but it was sad, because I said, is it that you don't want to pray with her? He says, no, I love to. He's like, I just don't know how. No one ever taught me. Prayer is a really intimate thing. And prayer is something that takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of practice and it takes time, but it should never be that chore. The word intimacy, it comes from a Latin word. It means to make the innermost known. And when we pray with our spouse, what we're really doing is not just going to God, but the two are really becoming one and going to God. And we're sharing the innermost of our hearts, our fears, our anxieties, our hopes, our dreams. Prayer doesn't have to be awkward, doesn't have to be rote, doesn't even have to be ritualistic. But when we actually go there, when we humble ourselves enough to pray not only with our spouse, but for our spouse, the relationship changes.